Gold Rush Rick Ness near tragedy. His late mom's dog Ruby attacked on claim on Wednesday. Gold Rush mine boss Rick Ness shared a shocking post on social media. His late mother's dog Ruby was attacked by a bigger dog on the claim. What do we know about Ruby's condition? The new gold mining season has begun, and Rick Ness was on the claim, with his late mom's beloved dog Ruby. Rick shared the shocking news that Ruby was attacked by a bigger dog just a few days ago. Rick was not there, but his crew was. The unidentified bigger dog had its jaws on her neck and throat, but Rick's crew managed to pry the bigger dog off of Rick's small cutie. Rick revealed that his cherished pet has lacerations on her neck and on her throat, and although she is in pain, she is going to be ok. My poor Ruby was attacked by a bigger dog. Thanks to the quick action from my crew, its jaws were quickly removed from her neck, but she did suffer some lacerations to her neck and throat. She is currently sad and in pain, but the vet said she will be just fine. We don't know who owns that dog that attacked Ruby. The Gold Rush dogs are generally loose around the claims. It should be assumed that these dogs should be socialized. To hear of such an attack has to be very shocking to all of the miners. There are enough challenges with gold mining and the natural habitat, including bears and other animals, to have to worry about fellow miners' dogs. Me poor Ruby was attacked by a big asshole dog. Thanks to the quick action from my crew, its jaws were quickly removed from her neck, but she did suffer some lacerations to her neck and throat. She is currently sad and in pain, but the vet said she will be just fine. Last year, Rick lost his mom Judy to brain cancer. The miner, who turned 38 on March 5, brought the little dog up to the Yukon last year. He revealed that Ruby was his consistent reminder of what he wanted to accomplish last season. Ruby reminded him of his mother. Ruby has clearly been a good luck charm for him. Ness and his freshman crew of miners were the first team to find 1,000 ounces of gold. Rick had put his house, his reputation, and his friendships on the line for this gig. Ruby was always there to remind him of the big goal he set for himself. Now Rick needs to be there for Ruby, as she recovers from the horrible bites from the bigger dog. On January 24, Rick posted on Twitter a photo of him and his late mom Judy. The heartbreaking caption read, "Happy birthday, Mom. You should have been 56 years young today. I miss you, and I love you forever." During Gold Rush Season 8, when working for Parker Schnubble, Rick took time away from the busy mining season to be with his ailing mom. He had previously shared that his mom would love to take him out and show him off. She died in March 2018, with Rick's face pressed next to hers. Rick now has Ruby with him as a tender reminder of his beloved mom. On the one-year anniversary of her March 2018 death, Rick shared how he spent that day. His closest pals all made him a special meal, silently commemorating the important day. On social media, Rick revealed that afterwards he got very emotional, but let his mom know that he was ok. On the one-year anniversary of my mother's death, my best friends all banded together, cooked me an amazing meal, and without saying anything at all, reminded me that I have so much support and so much love in this life. I held my tears back until now, but I am so blessed. I'm ok, Mom. Happy birthday, Mom. You should have been 56 years young today. I miss you and I love you forever. What are your feelings about the dog that attacked Ruby? Please share your get well wishes for Rick's little dog in the comments field. Gold Rush has not officially been renewed. Fans should not worry as the miners are sharing posts from the claim. Besides, Gold Rush is Discovery's #1 rated show. Gold Rush Season 10 should begin airing on Discovery sometime in October. TV shows Ace is the place for all of the latest Gold Rush news. Georgia Macatello has several decades of writing experience, including travel writing, tech writing, art history analysis, and now entertainment writing. She loves to share the latest news on rom-coms and mysteries. Gold Rush, Rick Ness near tragedy. His late mom's dog Ruby attacked on claim. Rick Ness, a prominent figure on Gold Rush, has faced his fair share of challenges throughout his life. From the demanding world of gold mining to the emotional weight of losing his mother, Rick's resilience has been tested in ways that most people could never imagine. However, nothing could have prepared him for the near tragedy that would unfold on his mining claim, an event that would shake him to his core and bring back painful memories of his late mother. It all began when Rick, who had been working on his gold mining operation in the remote Alaskan wilderness, received a devastating phone call from his friend and mining partner, Andy. A shadow had fallen over the camp, had been attacked by a wild animal. For Rick, Ruby was more than just a pet. She was a reminder of his mother's spirit and a comforting presence on the claim. Ruby had been by his side during the most difficult parts of his life, and now, this loyal companion had been thrown into a life-or-death struggle. A deep connection to Ruby, a small but fierce dog, had been a constant in Rick's life long before the days of gold mining. She had been his mother's dog, a loyal and loving companion who had been by her side through thick and thin. When Rick's mother passed away, Ruby came to symbolize everything that Rick had lost. The dog had always been there for him, offering comfort in moments of grief and joy alike. In many ways, Ruby was a bridge between Rick's past and his present, reminding him of his roots and the people who shaped his life. For Rick, having Ruby on the claim was like having a piece of his mother with him. Every time he saw the dog's bright eyes or heard her bark in the distance, it brought a sense of peace to the otherwise harsh world of gold mining. Whether it was the harsh cold of winter or the long, grueling hours of digging for gold, Ruby's presence was a constant source of solace. The attack, a heart-stopping moment on the fateful day when the attack occurred, Rick was deep into his gold mining operation, focusing on extracting as much gold as possible. The camp was quiet, save for the distant sounds of nature and the steady hum of equipment. Ruby, as always, was close by, either exploring the campgrounds or taking a nap in the warmth of the campfire. Suddenly, a loud commotion broke the peaceful silence. A vicious growl echoed through the camp, followed by the frantic barking of Ruby. Andy rushed toward the sound, fearing the worst. As he arrived, he saw Ruby engaged in a life-or-death struggle with a large, aggressive animal. A wild wolf had wandered into the camp and, sensing an opportunity, had attacked the defenseless dog. The situation was dire. The wolf, much larger and stronger than Ruby, had its jaws around the dog's throat, and Ruby was struggling to free herself. Andy immediately sprang into action, yelling and trying to scare off the wolf. But the wild animal was relentless, driven by hunger and aggression. It seemed as though the situation was spiraling toward a tragic end, with no clear way out. A desperate Rick, who had been working several hundred yards away, was instantly alerted by the commotion. His heart raced as he saw Andy and others rushing toward the scene, their voices rising in panic. He dropped his tools and sprinted toward the camp. When he arrived, the sight of Ruby struggling to free herself from the wolf's grasp was enough to stop him in his tracks. For a split second, Rick froze. The world seemed to blur around him as he watched his mother's dog in peril. This was a moment Rick had feared. Losing Ruby would feel like losing the last piece of his connection to his mother. But there was no time to waste in sentimentality. The situation was life-threatening, and Rick knew he had to act quickly. He grabbed a nearby stick, wielding it like a weapon, and rushed toward the wolf. Yelling at the top of his lungs, Rick swung the stick with all his strength, aiming for the animal's head. The wolf, startled by the noise and force, released Ruby and turned to face this new threat. In that moment of distraction, Andy managed to grab Ruby and pull her out of harm's way. The wolf hesitated, sizing up the situation, before retreating into the trees. Though the immediate threat was over, the damage had already been done. Ruby was badly injured, her small body battered and bruised from the vicious attack. The sight of her in pain was almost too much for Rick to bear. The aftermath. A newfound appreciation as Rick cradled Ruby in his arms, he was filled with a mix of emotions. The relief that the wolf had been driven away was overwhelming, but it was tempered by the harsh reality that Ruby was badly hurt. The dog had been through so much in her life, losing her owner, surviving in the wild, and now narrowly escaping death. Rick knew that the road to recovery would be long, and he was determined to help Ruby heal, just as she had helped him through his own struggles. The incident served as a sobering reminder of the dangers of life on the Gold Claim. The Alaskan wilderness, while beautiful and awe-inspiring, was also unforgiving. Whether it was the harsh weather, wild animals, or the inherent risks of mining, the challenges of the environment were ever present. But for Rick, there was a deeper lesson to be learned in the aftermath of the attack. In the days that followed, Rick reflected on the bond he shared with Ruby and the importance of cherishing the moments that really matter. He realized that life was fragile,